welcome to the Hollywood Secrets Information. In this, we are diving deep into the untold stories of Golden Age actors whose private lives shocked the world when their secret affairs with men were revealed. Back in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, Hollywood was a glittering dream factory, but behind the cameras, the reality was often far more complicated, hidden, and scandalous. The studio system carefully controlled stars' images, but rumors of forbidden love and double lives swirled constantly. Today, we uncover the truth about 10 actors from that era who lived in fear, passion, and secrecy. If you love learning the hidden truths about old Hollywood, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more captivating stories. 1. Cary Grant. Cary Grant, one of Hollywood's most charming leading men, built his career on sophistication, style, and charm. But behind his immaculate public image, Grant was hiding a secret that would only be revealed decades later. For years, Cary Grant lived with fellow actor Randolph Scott in a beach house they nicknamed their Bachelor Hall. The two were inseparable, photographed lounging together by the pool, cooking meals, and playfully wrestling in ways that suggested much more than friendship. At the time, the studios dismissed these images as a publicity stunt. But insiders whispered that Grant and Scott were lovers. Though both actors went on to marry women, Grant 5 times and Scott twice, their relationship left a permanent mark on Hollywood history. Many believe that their bond was one of the most enduring same-sex affairs of the Golden Age, though Grant never openly admitted it. The scandal of Cary Grant's private life remains one of the industry's most closely guarded secrets. 2. Rock Hudson. No discussion of hidden gay affairs in Hollywood is complete without Rock Hudson. To his fans, Hudson was the epitome of tall, dark, and handsome, the leading man every woman dreamed of. But his personal life was a painful story of suppression and secrets. Studio executives worked tirelessly to hide Hudson's relationships with men, setting him up in staged romances with women to keep his image intact. Confidential magazine nearly exposed him in the 1950s. But his agent quickly arranged a rushed marriage to Phyllis Gates, which ended in divorce just 3 years later. Hudson's true affairs remained hidden until his tragic death from AIDS in 1985, which forced the world to confront the truth. It became one of Hollywood's most shocking revelations, proving how far the industry had gone to silence and suppress his reality. His life became both a scandal and a symbol of how oppressive Hollywood was for gay actors. 3. James Dean. James Dean remains a cultural icon of youthful rebellion, but beneath the brooding looks and leather jackets, there were stories of passionate affairs with men. Dean was rumored to have been romantically linked to several older, influential men in Hollywood, including director Nicholas Ray and actor Marlon Brando. In fact, Dean's alleged on-and-off affair with Brando was particularly scandalous. According to some insiders, Dean would beg Brando for attention, while Brando treated him cruelly, even instructing him to perform degrading tasks. Though Dean's life was tragically cut short at just 24 in a car crash, whispers about his bisexuality and same-sex affairs have never faded. His sexual fluidity was part of his mystique, making him both scandalous and revolutionary for his time. 4. Marlon Brando. Marlon Brando, often hailed as one of the greatest actors in cinema history, shocked the world decades after his prime when revelations about his sexuality surfaced. Brando himself once admitted in a candid interview, "Homosexuality is so much in fashion, it no longer makes news. Like a large number of men, I, too, have had homosexual experiences, and I am not ashamed." This confession came long after the Golden Age, but insiders knew Brando had many passionate affairs with men. One of the most talked about was his fling with James Dean. Others included rumors of his connections with French actor Christian Marquand. Brando's affairs added to his reputation as Hollywood's ultimate rebel, not just against social norms but against sexual conventions as well. What made his case so scandalous was not only his secret relationships but his later refusal to hide them, even if Hollywood never fully acknowledged the truth. 5. Randolph Scott. If Cary Grant was the polished icon, Randolph Scott was the rugged cowboy. Best known for his westerns, Scott's masculinity was marketed as the very definition of American manhood. Yet the irony was that his most intimate relationship was with another man. Scott and Grant's relationship was scandalous not only because of its existence but because it was so visible. Neighbors remembered them living as a couple for over a decade. They hosted parties together, traveled together, and even invested in real estate as partners. Photographers captured images of them sunbathing shirtless, which were quietly circulated in Hollywood gossip circles. The studio heads constantly feared exposure of the truth, forcing Scott to date glamorous actresses in staged publicity outings. Despite this, many insiders later confirmed what the photos hinted at: Grant and Scott were not just roommates, but lovers who challenged Hollywood's carefully constructed masculinity. 6. Montgomery Clift. Montgomery Clift was a sensitive, soulful actor whose talent rivaled that of Brando and Dean. But Clift's personal life was overshadowed by secrecy and scandal. Clift never married, and throughout his career, he was rumored to have had affairs with several men, including choreographer Jerome Robbins and actor Jack Larson. He lived in constant fear of exposure, as his contracts and reputation depended on maintaining an image of heterosexual masculinity. Clift's struggles with his identity contributed to his lifelong battles with depression, alcohol, and drug abuse. His close friends, like Elizabeth Taylor, knew about his sexuality and protected him fiercely. However, Hollywood's silence forced Clift into isolation, making his story one of the most tragic among Golden Age actors who lived with forbidden love. 7. Anthony Perkins. Anthony Perkins, best known as Norman Bates in Psycho, lived a life full of secrets. In the 1950s and 1960s, Perkins was rumored to have had relationships with a string of men, including actor Tab Hunter and choreographer Jerome Robbins. His relationship with Tab Hunter, in particular, was scandalous because both men were rising stars. Studio bosses forced them apart, fearing that Hollywood's golden boys would be ruined if their love became public. Perkins was then pressured into dating high-profile women to keep up appearances. Though Perkins eventually married a woman and had children, many biographers confirm that his most passionate relationships were with men. His double life symbolizes the extreme lengths Golden Age actors had to go to in order to protect their careers. 8. Tab Hunter. Tab Hunter was Hollywood's clean-cut heartthrob of the 1950s. With his blonde hair, perfect smile, and surfer looks, he was America's boy next door. But beneath this squeaky clean image was a man forced to hide his truth. Hunter had a loving relationship with Anthony Perkins, but like many others, the studios interfered. Hunter later revealed in his autobiography Tab Hunter Confidential that his sexuality was the biggest secret of his career, and that he lived in fear of being exposed. When rumors began swirling, Hunter's studio quickly arranged for him to be seen publicly with glamorous women like Natalie Wood. But behind the scenes, he sought real companionship with men. Only decades later did Hunter openly embrace his truth, but during the Golden Age, his affairs remained deeply scandalous and hidden. 9. Errol Flynn. Errol Flynn was the swashbuckling rogue of Hollywood, known for his scandalous affairs with women. But fewer people know about the rumors of his hidden relationships with men. Flynn's bisexuality has long been speculated on, with Hollywood insiders whispering about his adventurous private life. He was notorious for throwing wild parties where sexual boundaries were blurred. Reports suggested that Flynn engaged in relationships with both men and women, though the studio machine worked hard to bury any stories that could tarnish his image as the ultimate ladies' man. The rumors were scandalous because Flynn's public persona was built entirely around his heterosexual conquests. To suggest he had affairs with men was to completely challenge the myth of one of Hollywood's greatest icons. 10. Laurence Olivier. Laurence Olivier, the legendary British actor and one of the greatest performers of his generation, was not immune to scandal either. While married to actress Vivien Leigh, Olivier was rumored to have had affairs with both men and women. One of the most talked-about rumors linked him romantically with actor Danny Kaye. Though neither man ever confirmed it, stories of their secret relationship persisted for decades. Many who knew Olivier believed his bisexuality was an open secret in theater and film circles. The idea of the great Shakespearean actor being involved in a same-sex affair was shocking in the conservative climate of mid-20th century Hollywood. Yet, it adds another layer to Olivier's complex and brilliant life. These 10 Golden Age actors lived double lives, torn between their personal desires and the harsh demands of Hollywood's rigid image-making machine. Their stories remind us how dangerous it once was for actors to be open about who they loved. What was once scandalous has now become part of a larger conversation about identity, secrecy, and the cost of fame. The affairs of Cary Grant and Randolph Scott, the heartbreak of Rock Hudson, the rebellious nature of James Dean and Marlon Brando, and the struggles of Montgomery Clift, Anthony Perkins, Tab Hunter, Errol Flynn, and Laurence Olivier, all reveal the hidden truths of old Hollywood. If you enjoyed this journey into Hollywood's most scandalous secrets, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.